What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Too Much Test podcast. I'm here with Sam Stolt and David Demesquita, and we have a special guest, Zach, the.retro1 on Instagram. He just opened up a supplement store in Orlando, so if you're in Orlando, check out Crazy Muscle. David Demesquita, if you want to check out Morphogen products, I actually just tried my first one last night, and it's really good. And Sam, if you want to check out Killer Pre-Workout and some other stuff, check out Triggered Brand. Links are all going to be down below. So what's going on, guys? How are you doing?
Doing good over here, man. Been a great rainy day in Florida, so I can't beat it.
Yep, absolutely. So if you recognize Zach, or you kind of recognize him, it could be because you watched the show Trafficked on National Geographic.
Right.
And I know he probably hates that, but I mean, maybe just go off a little bit about that. Maybe we'll circle back, and then we want to talk about some bodybuilding.
Yeah, so it's funny. I actually was going through some of my Vegas, because I was out in Vegas a couple of years ago. I did a documentary with Tony Huge. Basically, that I guess nobody really knows how that got kicked off for me. I was doing a prep without steroids because I wanted to prep. My life was going crazy, and I'm the kind of person who's like, okay, I'm gonna prep because I'm not caring about myself enough. And well, we all know how preps go. So that was actually my crazy way of taking care of myself. And so I wasn't going to use steroids because I felt like my mental health just wasn't capable. And I started natural. I don't care about placing. Here I go. I was doing 3 hours of cardio a day. That was not a lie. I was doing 2 hours of training. That was not a lie. There were 6 hour training sessions that we did all the time. That shit sucked. And that was all at Planet Fitness. I started doing that prep. And then I got a call from Tony, which, as much of a good friends we are, I never get calls from Tony. So I'm always like, why is Tony calling me, you know? And he's like, hey, I'm here with Dana from Nat Geo. We're looking for people who are doing SARM-only preps for the Olympia. And you're like the only guy in the world. And I'm like, I am the only guy in the world. Like, sounds good. What's going on? That was right when the injectable SARMs had come out. So he talked to me about those, and my opinion on those probably doesn't need to be shared, but I was okay with it. And so we moved forward. I was doing a Ligand Draw S23 stack, going through that, which not many people do. We can talk about that if you want. I actually think it's a great combination. You just got to watch out for acne, but I think they actually balance each other out really well with the dryness and the water retention that come from both, well, respectively. So anyways, I'm doing this prep, get the call. Okay, next thing I know, I'm on the phone with Dana from National Geographic, trying not to crap my pants. And that was it. So they came and they visited me in Orlando, interviewed my mom. I went out there. I was prepping I had an actual coach. So he came out there with me, and we kind of set it up as if Tony was coaching me. And there's a lot of things in the documentary that were obviously misconstrued. And it was more of, any bodybuilder who knows anything, who watches that documentary, goes, okay, that probably scared the shit out of every regular family in America. But that was nothing. Like, Tony's over here in his lab coat, Zach's over here. I'm worried he might pass out. And I'm like, I might pass out. What do you mean? I'm looking at Tony like, what the fuck? But, the clip is me freaking out. But I'm freaking out because I got 16 cameras in my face and I just got stabbed. But I got a bowl of cereal. I got hot potatoes coming at me, and I got, sugar right here. I'm not going to die. So I was... It was funny how they spun it, and watching that on my couch with my friends, it was like it wasn't me, because I saw it, a year and a half later, and I had gone through so much. I don't talk to that coach, I don't talk to the girl. A lot of things happened, and I was like, oh my God. So to have it come back, I was like, okay, like, this is going to be my kickoff, right? Maybe, or maybe not. I don't know what it's going to be. I might get some hate. I'm sitting on the couch with my friends, and they're looking at me like, I don't know what to say. I have no idea how this is legal, and I don't know how they're pulling it off, but half of this is as extreme as it is. It's all true, but it's not that extreme, My life was definitely not at risk, and if anything, and I think I told you this behind the scenes, but Tony's the reason why I know how to be a healthy bodybuilder. He's the one who taught me from an early age not to abuse drugs, and that's Tony's original message with SARMs, has always been, get off the gear. And now his message is, here's how I've learned how to use gear. But the reason SARMs were prevalent when they were was because Tony was trying to help people. And he knows kids like me who have a dude in the gym who gets us all roided out. You know, I was the last one of my friends, and I was still 19. And you know what? Nobody had the results that I had with the same cycle they ran because I cared more and I had more interest in the actual training and the diet. And so with all of those things coming into play, you know, Tony was the reason why I had the health aspect that I care about, but you would never guess that, you know? And so I have people talking to my parents in the gym like, you need to get your son away from that terrible man. And my friends are like, dude, are you fucking crazy? And like, you know, it is what it is. And I laugh and I'm like, well, that's definitely not going to kickstart any career for me, but.
So you were natural before doing this competition?
Not at all, actually. That was kind of another thing that kind of went around about that. And I said in the documentary, but it's very minimally talked about. No, I've actually abused steroids when I was 20. And I had a really, really bad rebound from that. And I had a lot of depression and a lot of terrible just, you know, acne that was just ridiculous. And then blood panels coming back normal and realizing, wow, my environment is also messed up. So a lot of like just interpersonal things that have nothing to do with bodybuilding, but everything to do with your health were kind of coming into play. And so that was why I chose not to do a steroid prep. That was why I chose to do SARMs, because I kind of went back to my old ways of not abusing my body. The dosing on the SARMs was minimal too. I don't push 20 milligrams of Ligandrol. I don't push 75 milligrams of S23, you know. Even when I was injecting them, Tony's over here, 1 ml, 50 milligrams. I'm like, how about a quarter? You know, like, how about I don't do that? How about I just get what I can? I'm always less is more, get what I can out of it, and then bump it up. I was raised holistically, so my family thinks I'm crazy. That's kind of why I do my best to balance it out. I don't know. That's pretty much it, I think.
Interesting. I think it's funny that because Tony is viewed as an extreme guy because like he'll sit there and he'll do videos of himself like injecting, which is crazy.
Drawing his blood out and checking it on the table.
Yeah, it's super, super extreme. But the funny thing is the stuff that he actually does, he's extremely intelligent and he actually does it in a relatively safe manner. It just looks very extreme how it's construed. But he's smart enough to the point where he knows to do things a healthy way. And I think people actually forget how intelligent he actually is. The way that he dumbs down how complex drugs actually are is not an easy thing to do. And he does it. That's how you know that someone can be safe. What you just said is that less is more is the honest truth behind any type of gear. We talk about it all the time. SARMs have drastic side effects, the same exact as steroids do. You'll forget that. So there is titration methods involved and everyone's bio-individual. So I just want to kind of hit on the Tony thing. I think that Tony is extremely intelligent and he has a bad stigma attached to him because he just does the crazy stuff like with injecting and stuff like that, which no one else does.
He experiments, you know, with things that people don't know about. The injectable SARMs, of course, people hadn't even gotten into it yet. So
on a side note, if everything aligns, Tony Huge will be on the podcast sometime in the future.
I want to be the next one. I would love to be there. We can talk about behind the scenes traffic stuff if you want.
Oh, that would be cool. That would be
the
cool.
scene of me getting Tony to smoke that joint was so relevant. Like, bro, Tony, if you're pinning me with 10 cc's of God knows what, you're smoking a fucking joint on this documentary with me. That's weird. Because I need my reputation to keep going, you know?
And I've seen on your Instagram, you're pretty open about marijuana use. I mean, do you incorporate that all into your training, into like, you know, go before you go to bed? I mean, how do you, or do you just enjoy it?
Yes.